Welcome to the Activated Storyteller's 23rd podcast, November 23rd, 2006.
This week's story is The Lion and the Mouse, a fable by Aesop.
Hi, I'm Dennis.
And I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Zephyr.
And together we are
The Activated Storytellers.
This week we are coming to you from San Francisco, California.
San Francisco, open your golden gate.
And it's Thanksgiving. This episode is premiering on Thanksgiving 2006. So we'd like to focus on Thanksgiving this time around. Actually, we'd like to focus a little more on the giving part of Thanksgiving. And we'll talk about what we mean about that in just a minute. But first of all, we'd like to mention that we did participate in a pod camp this week here in San Francisco and tell you just a little bit about that.
Pod camp, that's where you go camping and take your iPod, or else you camp in some kind of pod.
You know, I didn't see any iPods there whatsoever.
I did. I think I saw a couple.
But what it is a gathering of podcasters, and they do video and audio, and you really don't need an iPod to listen to these podcasts. So I didn't see too many pods there, but there were tons of computers. I have never been to a convention when you look around the room and 2/3 of the audience had a computer on their lap, ourselves included.
Or on the table. In fact, they had a little table set up over in the corner with surge protectors. So you had all these plugs and outlets, and there was Wi-Fi in the building, so all the podcasters are all together on their computers and the internet, and everyone's going at once.
Yeah, it was a true meeting of the geeks.
Nerds, geeks.
Yeah.
And it was held at Swedish American Hall in San Francisco on Market Street. Really fabulous building, about a century old, that I thought was very architecturally interesting.
Swedish American Hall. I did not know it was a Swedish American Hall. That explains a lot.
So we did participate in that, and also just in other news, our story, Simple Yvonne, has made it to round 2 in the Pickle Tales contest.
Or rather, we have made it to round 2. However, when you make it to round 2 in the Pickle Tales contest, you're issued a new challenge.
We have our new challenge, and we have to incorporate 3 sound effects into our next story. We've got something lined up. Voting for that begins on November 27th through the 30th. And if you'd like to listen to the other contestants, there are 6 in this round. And if you'd like to listen to them and vote, why, by all means, go to podcastpickle.com. Then look under forums for podcast discussions, and you will find the round 2 of the Pickle Tales Tell a Story contest.
It's very difficult to go through this process. They didn't make it easy for you, but hang in there.
You mean for the voters to go and register?
Right. It's kind of confusing to navigate through all of this, I think.
Yeah, I do too, but I think the first time you go through it, you'll understand how to do it, and I'll have some guidelines on our website about how to actually listen to the podcast and to vote. And our story will be the Fiddlesticks family and the egg. That will be our story.
Now, we mentioned it was the Thanksgiving episode, so there's a couple of things we'd like to talk to you about. Now, last time we mentioned Road Trip Nation, where the college students participate in being in an RV on the road for 6 weeks, and they're followed by the television crew with PBS, and it's put on the air. But we'd also like to mention to you something sort of similar that happened in Canada with the Random Acts of Kindness tour.
Right. In 2002, 4 college students took off on the road, and their goal was to spread extreme acts of kindness. To take that, I'm pretty sure that most people have heard of the random acts of kindness, and the whole philosophy behind that is just to do random acts of kindness. Well, these guys got together and decided they were going to do extreme random acts of kindness.
There was one incident where they stormed into an office building and took over all the janitors' jobs, or at least half of them did, and then the other half went to give massages to all the people who'd been working all day.
Right. They spent 3 months in an RV touring Canada and America and stopping and just doing things like staffing a soup kitchen.
Yes, these were Canadian students. I don't know if you mentioned that, but from Victoria, Canada.
Right. And their motto is, "It's cool to be kind."
They also would do things like give out free hugs in a mall until they got kicked out by mall security, which I found funny. I had an incident of that myself once.
Yeah. Now, were you inspired by that? Is that where you got that idea?
I don't know where I got that idea. I just decided it would be a really fun idea to grab a sign that said free hugs, so I actually made one myself out of postboard. And I walk around the mall that said free hugs. I got about, I think, 5 steps away from the vehicle before security pulls up. I'm going, come on, I didn't even get 5 steps away from the vehicle. I've been here for 5 seconds. I just got this thing out, and security's pulling up.
And what was it the security said to you?
Well, they said I was panhandling.
I still don't understand that one. Giving away something is panhandling?
They were like, well, it could be interpreted as panhandling. And I'm going, what do I need to do? Make an underline on the free part? How complicated is this to understand?
One of my favorite stories about an act of kindness, especially since we're talking about holiday time, is there is, I believe in New York City, a man who is Jewish, and every Christmas he finds some Christian who would normally have to work on Christmas Day, and he volunteers to fill in for that person. And I'm especially impressed by that because it cuts across religious lines.
Wow, that is interesting. And the story we chose for you this week is also on that theme. The story this week is The Lion and the Mouse.
There was once a lion who was asleep in his den because the kitchen was being cleaned, when along came a mischievous little mouse. And he decided he'd have a little fun with this sleeping lion. What could it hurt?
Airball. What do you think you're doing here?
Hi, Mr. Lion. Your whiskers tickle.
What happens is you're gonna tickle my throat going down.
Oh, no, Mr. Lion. No, please. Don't kill me. Oh, forgive me this time, oh King. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me.
You pulled my whiskers. You obviously meant to disturb me. That was the idea.
I was, just kidding. I'm very sorry.
Oh, what the hey? Suppose I'll let you go this time.
Oh, thank you, Mr. King. I'll never forget it. I never will. And I'll pay you back someday. I promise. Really, I will.
Well, the lion, of course, thought there was no way this teensy-weensy little mouse could ever help him out.
Yeah, maybe you can pay me back by having some of your friends come and be lunch.
Anyway, he let the rodent go on its merry road. Well, not long afterward, the lion was out wandering through the forest.
Oh, I'm a lion, and that's okay.
When all of a sudden, he was caught in a net.
I'm caught in the net.
Hey, Joe, look, we got a big trophy this time. Hey, let's leave him here and go have lunch. What do you say? We'll come back and skin him later. Okay. Well, the lion struggled and tried to get free.
Struggled.
But there was no free to be gotten.
La. Huh? Why, it's Mr. Lion, the king of the beast. Oh, Mr. Lion, yoo-hoo, down here. Why, what are you doing all the way up there, Mr. Lion? Are you taking a nap in your hammock?
Yeah, I'm taking a nap tied up by ropes. That makes sense.
Mr. Lion, are you in trouble?
Hey, little runt, can you come over here and give me some help with this?
Oh, no, here, let me help you. I'll get you. Here, I'll help you. I'll get you out of here, Mr. Lion. Don't you worry. There you go, Mr. Lion. Free as a bird.
A bird with no wings. Thank you, Mr. Mouse.
No problem, Mr. Lion. You helped me, and I told you I'd pay you back.
Hey, that was kind of fun. I suppose I'll go find someone else to help.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I think I'll go do the same thing. I wonder who I can help next. Goodbye, Mr. Lion.
Ta-ta.
Okay, Joe, let's go get that lion skin now. Look, he's gone. That's because there's a big hole in the net. Well, of course, a net has lots of holes, but he got out somehow. I was expecting to put him up as a trophy in my front yard. Well, I guess we'll have to settle for that pink flamingo down there by the pond. Come on, let's go.
Hey, look, that there hunter's shoe's untied. I think I'll go tie it up for him.
Oh! And so both the lion and the mouse learned that no good deed, no matter how small, is ever wasted. And that's the story of the lion and the mouse.
That was a fun story. Reminds me of a tale that's been in the news lately, and this is a remarkable story. Perhaps you've heard of the Secret Santa.
Oh, yes. We had him when I was in school. No.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to do, too, is Secret Santa during Christmas time, to have a secret pal, and they choose and give a gift and whatnot, and you don't know who it is till the end. But this guy in Lee's Summit has taken it a step beyond and above.
Well, he's been handing out money on the streets as Secret Santa for years, but he's always had his identity kept secret. But now he's finally released it.
Right. We've learned who this Secret Santa is. In December 1979, he had been fired from his second job and was kind of feeling sorry for himself and was at a drive-in, but noticed that there was a waitress who had just a thin jacket on. It was kind of cold, and so...
Well, this was a drive-in restaurant, not a drive-in movie.
Do they even have drive-in movies anymore?
Well, they did in 1979.
Ah, yes. Well, anyway, he noticed that the car hop was looking a little cold, and so he gave her $20 and told her to keep the change, and it made a difference in her life, and he noticed that, was very taken aback by how much difference that $20 made to her. And what he decided to do then, instead of feeling sorry for himself, is he decided he can go down to the bank, get out $200, and just start spreading it around. Gave people money randomly as he saw that they needed it.
This gentleman's name, by the way, is Larry Stewart. We know that now, although he stayed anonymous for many years.
And I've been told that he runs a cable company of some kind. Is that correct? But although he still insisted that the name of the company be kept secret.
Right. He doesn't want that involved for some reason. He just wants to do random acts. So as he went on, he'd been homeless himself, actually, at one point in his life. Earlier, in the early 70s, he'd been homeless, and he knew what it was like to have to ask for help. He didn't want people to have to do that. And he gives to donations to charities and whatnot. But his big thing now is going out and giving out $100 bills to people who look like they need it. People at thrift stores, people at soup kitchens. And he's now has cancer, and he probably won't be with us much longer, but I think his legacy will live on.
Particularly because he's trained 4 other Secret Santas to keep doing his work and give out money on the streets.
Yes, he was very poor before he started doing this, and then he became very successful. So it tends to confirm or reinforce the belief that people have had for a long time that if you put out something, it will come back to you many times over.
Yes, so, and I think whether he's trained, these 4 Santas or not, anybody can go out and do this. Give of your time, give of your money, just spread some random acts of kindness, or as they say, pay it forward. Don't worry about paying somebody back for something nice that they've done. If somebody does something nice to you, pass it on.
Yeah, give it to somebody else rather than back to them. Keep spreading.
Well, you can give it back to them too, but...
Right, but spread it forward is the idea.
Right. So we wish you the best of Thanksgiving, and we hope you join us next week for another story and more tales about travel.
Just be nice to everyone, including the turkeys.
Yes, and when we get closer to Christmas time, I will tell you one of my favorite true Christmas stories. My favorite true Christmas story, in fact.
And remember, Podcast Pickles, Round 2, the tale of Fiddlesticks' family and the eggs.
It's a folk tale which we just made up.
And I guarantee you're going to love it. Voting is November 27th to the 30th. If you have the chance to pass this on, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, listen to it and vote for which story you think is the best.
So go to podcastpickle.com, look under Forums, Podcast Discussion. You'll see the voting.
The Activated Storytellers perform at schools and libraries nationwide. On stage, we use American Sign Language, physical comedy, imaginative props, and a giant, oversized book to bring the stories to life. For booking information, check our website at www.activated-storytellers.com, where you can also find out when the Activated Storytellers will be performing near you. Read a story, or order one of our audio CDs. Until next time.